Never to disappear, but always to keep coming back. You're like a phoenix.
Yeah. And there's Dinky Dawson.
And Dinky's there.
I think I played with Tom Rush. Dinky was always doing the sound.
Dinky is the greatest sound guy. We should talk to him. You want to get?
I got to say hi to Dinky. Yeah.
Come here, Dinky.
You can remember me?
Tim Jackson.
It was Tom Rush. We worked with Tom Rush together.
Yeah, you guys did Tom Rush together. Now, Dinky, for example, was the competitor. Dinky ran the channel sound, and we had a friendly relationship where I could go to the channel anytime I wanted, and Dinky can walk in here anytime he wanted. When did you used to come here? Before you worked the channel? Before I was born?
No, 1969. As soon as it opened, we came with Fleetwood Mac.
That's right, Dinky. You were the sound man for the Byrds and Fleetwood Mac.
And Marshall Goldberg was our sound man because Marshall built a lot of stuff for us, and I just toured with him today. He's still around. He's in Oregon right now, and we're doing some sound stuff that we can get together again.
Yeah.
Can I do a piece of sound history? Remember Bill Reisman?
Yeah. Bill Reisman.
Tell us about Bill.
Well, Bill Reisman, 1972, I took all his stuff down out of his studio, 16-track recorder, and DBX down to Sing Sing Prison. And I recorded Joan Baez live in Sing Sing Prison, and I actually tapped the electricity off the electric chair to drive the 16-track and all the DBX.
It must have been a killer sound.
It was killer, all right, because the head electrician was a murderer, and he was wonderful. He wouldn't go out back to Brook. He wouldn't go back into the Harlem, he said, because he says, they'll kill him. He says, I'd rather live here. And he says, that's what I do. And he walks around with all the keys, and he also had a bundle of electric wire and everything, and he hooked us up. Good. And Bill Reisman stuff, he did that for me in this place with Fleetwood Mac in 1970 when we recorded it. And
the Boston Live at the Tea Party, Fleetwood Mac Live at the Tea Party record.
I recorded with him in his house when it was Angus Studios in like 69, 68.
Yeah.
And he disappeared.
Yeah.
His demise is a strange story in itself.
I have no idea.
Oh, you don't know the story?
Are we going to get this story?
He was designing things for the government, and his son Sean is still around. I always wondered, wonderful guy who was a roadie. Bill disappeared swimming down in South America. They never found
him.
That's
right. I remember doing.
Yeah, very strange. And it was in the Globe, and I read this and I went, Bill Reisman, really?
Look, we've had a lot of wonderful rock and roll musicians here, and also the backline guys.
Yeah, backline guys.
Do you remember Carrot from Shannon-Ar, the redhead roadie from Shannon-Ar that used to come through? Well, Carrot, when they went down to Costa Rica, Carrot came back, and 3 days later he died because it's that infective disease thing that you get, flesh-eating bacteria. Whatever it was. But these were the characters that were here in this town. There's some wonderful characters
Bird
still
Ouellette,
in this town.
Bird Ouellette.
Like you guys.
Bird, one of the greats, Bird Ouellette.
There was
should be here.
Weisberg. Well, yeah, but Marshall Goldberg was the key before you came, before I came, in this building. And I'm going to tell him tonight that we've been on and talked about him. In fact, Charlie was talking about him, and he's going to love it.
I mean, most people that go to a show don't even realize what it takes to make that sound something that they appreciate. The musicians, the tech guys, the lifters, the schleppers, they don't understand.
They don't understand it.
And
just
the roadies. The roadies are good.
But you've got to see the new roadies. I've got them on my website. They're this big. They're 7 and 8 years old. They've been pushing this stuff around in England for years. One was truck driving and everything. He was up there on the truck driving, and the little girls pushing all the gear. Yeah, it's the new band of roadies. They've got the ears in, the damn earrings, and all this stuff. And I'm like,
and read Dinky's book.
Yeah, read Dinky's book.
Read his book.
The life on the road, the adventures of Dinky Dawson with Carter Allen as my co-writer. So Carter, in fact, it's coming out as an e-book soon, and also an audio book.
You're gonna speak your life?
I'm going to
reading
it.
it.
I'm audioing it. I'm going to make everybody laugh.
And then everyone's gonna have to figure out what you're saying.
Exactly. That's the whole thing.
It's the first subtitled audiobook.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Hey, whatever it takes to have some fun and everybody have a laugh.
Well, I tell you, this scene owes a lot to the technology that was developed during that time period. Not only just in the equipment that was being made, because Berkeley was a test place for drums and guitars and amps and all the guys who were building that stuff, but you take Bill Hanley and you take you and you take many of these people in this scene that helped create the future of what our sound is like.
That's exactly right. The only thing is they've gone past it now because of the digital boards. They don't have the humanness that we have. And and we're talking about Bill Rising, we're talking about people, we're talking about Marshall. These are people, not machines. We invented them machines.
There's a thing called a human feel.
And that's what's
And it's
missing
just-
today.
Yeah.
Sorry, live shows are not as good as what we had when we were here or any other place that a live person mixes.
And that's what
Because
this is about.
today,
It's about live.
they
live
don't
playing.
mix it. Press the button and go. And everything's on the computer. I'm sorry, but I don't go to those shows. Even my friends that has them shows, I won't go. I don't like the sound. If I don't like the sound, I ain't going anyhow. So why?
Well, I guess we were lucky to experience it as it happened.
You better believe it.
And now it's all recorded.
So how many nights were you here at this place?
I worked here straight from like 1984 to 1991. I probably produced at least 500 shows here. And then Timmy McKenna took over. He was at the Paradise.
That's right.
My favorite show here was probably the weirdest night. We had Leonard Cohen at Metro, sold out, all seats on the ground, and he was very quiet. He would do Suzanne really quiet. And next door at Spit was Nirvana, and you could hear it through the wall. And Leonard Cohen says, "Get that crap off or I'm not going on stage." So I had to kind of go back and forth. Nirvana's set ended, Leonard would start. It's like, oh. But I remember great shows like Prince that Carter was talking about on a little stage 3 feet high. And Prince is in a jock strap and goes out into the audience. What are you supposed to do?
We had the same stuff going on over the channel. It was interesting. I got so fed up of Gibby from Butthole Surfers. He set fire to my stage. I threw him right out the back door. Right out the fire exit.
We had
and his drum kit and everything. They put lighter fluid on top of the cymbal, set fire to it, lit it. So it went everywhere. Are you kidding me? The guy's playing to this guy getting his thing chopped off on the wall, and I'm saying to myself, this is a bit much. Music was pretty decent, but then after they did that, and the girl peed in the cup, in the bucket, and drank it, and then they set fire to my stage, I says, that's it. Out the back door with his guitar.
We didn't allow that here. We did have things like the Red Hot Chili Peppers decided they were going to play an hour after the show, the place closed.
My Sunday afternoon band. I got them. What was it? 5 pairs of tube socks. That was my on the road thing. I got Lemmy. I got Lemmy something. Lemmy wanted food, and then he says, "Oh, I want a woman. I want this. I want that." So I got one of my bouncers who owns a marital aid store in town to come out, and we got all these dildos. And they were moving on a silver plate. I took them to Lenny. This is your dinner, Lemmy. And these dildos are moving everywhere. Lemmy and Benoit balls.
That was not on Lansdowne Street. That was at the channel. Yeah,
That was
just put it out. We had a little different ethic here. We did have the human sexual response excitement going every time they would show up here. That was
Hey,
like,
you talk about the Lansdowne Street. This was the full gay side. So that kind of raw, old-style, sexy stuff was channel-oriented more than
that's
here.
right. You had the Meat Man. You had all the insaneness. All that kind of
All
stuff.
the weird stuff.
We had, in a sense, we had the big acts that would normally be playing the Centrum. They would come here and play because this was cool.
Well,
Clapton did 3 nights. The Allman Brothers did 3 or 4 nights, and when they were at the top of their field. And
you get people like Wendy O.
I gotta run. We'll be back. Tim Jackson, Dickie Dawson, stay well, and we'll be right back. Thanks, Tim. Thanks, Dickie. Hi, I'm Gary Summers. I was a production manager here from 1984 till 1991. I showed up for my first day because I heard there was cool stuff happening here. moved here from Wisconsin. This is the place to be. Metro was my club, and the opening day, the first day I showed up, Joe Perry Project was playing. It was 1984, and I just showed up. They didn't have anybody in charge, really. So I started pushing showcases, display cases, band gear, started pushing the gear. At the end of the night, I was in charge. It was just one of those kind of freaky moments. I actually stopped Pat Lyons from coming into his own club because I didn't know who he was. After that, I came and produced many shows, probably 300 to 500 shows here. Everything from the Rumbles to Prince, Eric Clapton, the Allman Brothers. Some of my favorites, of course, Stevie Ray Vaughan. But my favorite thing about this place is Patrick would ask us to renovate the entire place pretty much overnight. And we would. Stephen Boros, who was the kind of the artist in residence, and his dog Bertha were always here. And we would have to kind of repaint the place, rewire the place, change the stage from this side to that side as quick as possible. My favorite one was when we converted Metro to City. City Club's opening night was redecorated to be the Normandy. They wanted the City Club to look like the Normandy when they walked in. And the first celebrity playing the show, the club, the new club, was a guy named Cab Calloway. Cab Calloway didn't fit into this rock and roll environment, but this place was decked out to be the Normandy. Really fancy schmancy. Cab Calloway, this is like my favorite story of this venue. Cab Calloway shows up for the sound check. He shows up, and here's the band on stage, all ready to go, and he had performed with them on a cruise, so he knew him. He was 84 years old. He walked up on stage, said, "Minnie," bam, they went right into it. He'd shake his hand, "That's enough." He'd go, "Caledonia," boom, they go right into it. So as soon as I finished the sound check and Mr. Calloway's happy, I says, "Would you like me to get the limo to take you back to your hotel?" He goes, "No, man, can I just hang out here with you? Got any weed?" So I arranged for Mr. Calloway to have as much weed as he wanted, and he hung out with me for like 4 hours. And afterwards, he went to get dinner, came back and did an unbelievable, about 75-minute set. Fully animated, extremely excited, and it was probably one of the greatest shows I ever saw here, and I saw a lot. I really enjoyed working here for the Lions, for Don, and for all those great groups, and I really appreciate the diversity of the type of and quality of talent that I got to work with. Come in here. Sam's here. Sam's going to tell a story about Aerosmith.
So first of all, I don't know if earlier we went all the way back to the early Tea Party days when.
No, I'm only from 83 to 84 is when I started.
Yeah. Well, just very quickly, first year I remember Grateful Dead here, and needless to say, the Punch Bowl. And I was kind of naive, and I'm like, I didn't know about the Punch Bowl yet, so I took a couple of big swigs, and I don't remember anything after that, but it was a great Grateful Dead experience. I'm thinking about Aerosmith, 1984. By that time, I wasn't working directly for BCN anymore. I had Starfleet, and we were producing all of the live concert broadcasts, always working with you guys, with the bus. So we were doing this Aerosmith live, and I think it was actually Valentine's Day. It was in any case February of 84. And it wasn't just on BCN, it was like a national network. Now, when you do a single station broadcast, the show can start loosey-goosey. You can start 5 minutes early, 5 minutes late, whatever. But when you're going national, you got to be on the clock. 10 minutes before airtime, we suddenly realized nobody knows where Tyler is. Everybody's panicking. Everybody on the whole crew is running all over the whole building trying to find Steven.
We were calm, but you guys were panicking.
Right.
We didn't have a time frame. You did.
Yeah, that's right. So, ultimately, Bobby DeMuth, my engineer, who's the best live mixer going, opens a closet door, and there's Tyler, kind of slumped down on the floor in his lame pants and, bare top, and his boa constrictor wrapped around him. So he got up, he did a great show.
And
was a great
almost
live
on time.
broadcast.
Almost on
no,
time.
we got
It was
on
like,
time.
Yeah, 15 or 30 seconds
Yeah.
off, wasn't it? It was just like just so close.
It was tight, but it was right.
It was right, and it rocked too.
Right.
I mean, that's the best thing about some of the things that happened here that were tied into radio stations
right.
that wouldn't have happened any other way. But
That's
to have
true.
a venue like this where they felt comfortable playing, knowing that you're going to get it out to the world correctly.
Yeah, there you go. Well, I thank you. The whole mission was getting live stuff from where it's happening out to the world simultaneously. There's nothing like the spontaneity of live. Artists usually do better shows when they know they're going out to the world. You know, the adrenaline,
They
the
give
whole
it
thing.
their all.
Oh, yeah.
They absolutely.
And what I don't remember is what the club was called at that time.
Metro. We were Metro.
It was Metro then?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Metro at that time.
Because when was Boston? It was...
Till 1981.
Okay, all right, okay.
So yeah,
Good,
and realistically, Patrick's vision of Metro was a disco
Right.
where he could have the best rock bands play.
Also, sure.
You know, because that was like, to me, the fun of being here.
Absolutely.
Frankie Goes to Hollywood one night.
Yeah.
What's his name from Joe Strummer the next night?
The Clash.
You know, yeah, but I mean,
Yeah.
Joe Strummer's band
and
was Big Audio
Mescaleros.
Dynamite.
Mescaleros.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, BAD. You know,
Right.
it'd be like, what the heck? These are two bands that, you know, why are they both selling out this club? Well, it's obvious why Joe would, but
Yeah.
What, you know, Frankie goes, it was just a nightmare. It was crazy. It was really hysterical.
Yeah.
But that's what the diversity of the club scene here was. We had sometimes in one night 8 bands, you know, 4 here, 3
yeah.
at Spit, 2 upstairs at Deviate,
Right.
and you know, woo,
A
crazy.
magical address, for sure.
15 Lansdowne, be here. Thanks.